name is Vitani. I spent over 15 years in Pelican Bay shoot.
How it actually came together is when the individual decided that they were no longer going to be manipulated into that no more, and came and started to speak to each other and understand. And you know, when men, you make a vow, you give somebody your word, you stick to your word. And so far, I can say that the agreement to end hostility has held tight in most cases. We can't say in every one of the 36 prisons throughout California they can, but the main prisons where they got individuals that was in that short quarter who put this together, it has held on those yards. And it's been plants that the administration has planted, agents, provocateurs, all type of S&Ys out here to try to create situations. But through communication and talking, men talking to one another when a problem comes up, as opposed to just reacting and acting like that you have to be, you know, everything is not to be settled physically. Some things you have to be able to sit down and be able to talk and utilize diplomacy. And that's what we have learned. And it all came about because of respect for one another. When you respect another person, then you're going to allow them to have a voice and be able to explain a situation and understand it. But when you don't have when you can't explain and you don't want to listen, then it's not going to be any kind of agreement, and hostility is always going to be in effect. So by us coming to respecting first and foremost one another as men, that's how we came into the agreement to end hostility. And that's how it worked it. And that's why it's still holding right today. And I'm here to say that the administration has tried everything in their power to try to break this here. And they can't stand to see other races, of different races, interacting with one another, especially when they thought that they would never see something like this here.
We knew that we were getting manipulated by the administration's years, from the 1970s to the 80s to the 90s, all the way up to 2000. And they were actually instrumental in orchestrating a lot of the activity that caused different races clash with one another.
Going back to Black Lives Matter, people have to start to understand the value that they have of their own lives and not let other people tell them what their lives is worth and what it's not worth. So first and foremost, I would say that Black people in itself need to understand and say and instill within themselves that they know for themselves that their lives matter, Black lives matter.